Welcome to the Fantasy Aceball podcast. This is your host, Tim Kanak. You can find me on the X at Fantasy Aceball. And with me today is my homie, Raymond Atherton. You can also find him on X at Raymond Atherton. That's exactly it. Like, your name is your Twitter handle. Like, very few people can say that. I probably could have done it. There aren't many Tim Kanaks, but I don't know. I think I created my thing at the time when like Aceball and stuff was popular, and everyone was like kind of like doing like a alias. So I don't know, or I guess like like Nick Pollock is picture list. So I don't know when you're the when you make a brand, I guess you try to stick to it instead of just going with the name. But the name is the brand sometimes, right, Raymond?
It's whatever you make it, dude.
I guess. So anyway, we were talking before we started podcasting here. We're going to talk in this podcast. We're going to be hitting some spring training stuff. We're going to talk about TGFBI, and then we're going to jump into outfielder and starting pitchers for Dynasty because we've been trying to hit multiple positions in each one of these so that it's less actual podcasts and more content thrown into each podcast. We're trying to provide you, no BS. We're trying to give you the best of the best. So, spring training, Raymond, I don't know. Have you been watching these spring breakout games?
I've been following the highlights. I haven't been watching. I don't know where they're televised, but
MLB TV.
I've been following along on Twitter. The Tigers have had Max Clark balled out today. Bryce Rayner looks good.
Yeah, I saw that, Max Clark. I have not seen the highlights from today yet. I was watching one game today, one that I almost went to, the Nationals and the Mets. I couldn't go, though, because my wife probably would have killed me if I went to another one. But I was at Cardinals Marlins on Friday. Got some awesome content from that one. There's actually there are a ton of good prospects at that game. Like it was a really good game. And then I watched a bunch of them too. I watched the Orioles one with Basayo and Enrique Bradfield, and played pretty well. Who else did I watch? I watched a couple. I watched
JJ Weatherholt.
well, that's the one I was at, dude. So of course I saw that. But so at the game I was at, if you want to watch on YouTube on the Tim Kanak. By the way, this is also on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel, the Tim Kanak, you can actually watch. I have like 45 minutes of raw video from when I was at the game. My kid was like the only kid at the entire game. So that was cool because a lot of the players were talking to us. Like I got a baseball signed by like JJ Weatherholt and Quinn Matthews and like all these players. Well, I guess my kid got it, but so basically I got all these signatures and stuff like that. Raymond fell off, so let's get him back on here. But anyway, when I was at the game, I was like right behind home plate for the first couple of innings, but it was also in the middle of like the day. It was like a 12 o'clock game. So we were frying by like the third inning. So I started moving around. So like my video starts from right behind home, and I actually like got the camera so that it looks like there's not even a net there because I was like putting it like right up against the net. I was sitting next to like a couple of photographers. Chaim Bloom was sitting like right behind me talking to scouts. So there's like very few people there, maybe like 1,000 people or something, because it was in the middle of the day on a Friday. So it's actually pretty cool going to that game. But I got to see Thomas White versus Quinn Matthews, which was insane. And I will tell you, Thomas White, like I've been the kind of the guy that's been like Noble Meyer is better, but Noble Meyer pitched in this game, Thomas White pitched in this game, Cooper Jerpy pitched in this game, and Quinn Matthews pitched in this game. And I think that the guys that like were the most impressive to me during this whole game were probably Thomas White, who was hitting 99 on the stadium gun from the left side, which is just absolutely insane. When I saw him last year, he was only hitting like 95. And then what else? Mr. Typey Type, I hear you're typing. What else? We had Cole Ray or not Cole Reagans. I say Cole Reagans because you remind me of Quinn Matthews. Had a little bit of a rough time. He actually had 2 walks, but one of the walks was Davison De Los Santos, and that should not have been a walk. Like that should have definitely been a strikeout.
I didn't know that was possible. Oh, you mean it was a bad call? I thought you were talking.
Yeah, it was a bad call by the ump.
I
Cooper
thought you were
Jerky
just talking shit about De Los Santos' plate discipline.
No, Cooper Jerpy was insane though. He struck out 4 guys and like he faced like 6 guys and struck out 4 of them. So he was really good. Tommy White was insane. JJ Weatherholt was played all right. For the Cardinals, basically the most impressive players to me from the Cardinals were all pitchers. It was like Luis Gastelum, who's a reliever, and Cooper Jerpy were just incredibly impressive. Quinn Matthews I had seen before. He actually looked worse this time than the first time I saw him last year. He was only hitting like 94 on his fastball, when last year when I saw him, he was hitting like 96, 97. So part of me thinks, okay, is that him like, hey, I'm going to get to the majors this year, so let me save my heat. Like, I don't need to prove it. Or is that like legitimate that he actually lost a couple ticks? You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I don't know how accurate spring training.
Oh, we got Robot
Statcast.
Raymond, like Robo
Oh
Scott.
no, Robo Scott, can you hear me now? Uh-oh.
Oh, you there, Raymond?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got Robo Raymond right now.
Oh no.
I'm actually going to see if I can change the signal here real quick on the Wi-Fi. So let's see what happens.
You're clear to me. I can hear you normal.
All right. You there?
Yeah, you've been there the whole time.
Okay, I'm gonna edit that. But anyway, the Wi-Fi was on the wrong one. So ready, set, go. Go ahead.
You're gonna have to remind me what you just said.
Oh, I was talking about the velocity. I said, are you concerned because Quinn Matthews dropped a couple points? Like, do you care about spring training velocity, basically?
No, not really. I don't take a lot of stock in that. If I mean, there's a million reasons why it could be down a mile an hour or two, and also so many guys are throwing hot compared to what they normally do. That like, I don't know. This might be ridiculous, but I don't know that I fully trust spring training velo data just as a whole. Like some of the
Yeah,
guys were coming out first or second appearance throwing 3-4 miles an hour faster on every pitch. Like that's not real.
some of that depends on the stadium guns too, right? Because they're
That's what I
using
mean. Yeah.
when you're watching on a TV broadcast, they're using the stadium guns, and they may not be accurate. Like I figured that the one when I was at the Jupiter one, it seemed like it was up a tick, like it was
Right.
a mile per hour too hot. Which
I
actually
yeah.
means that Quinn Matthews would be down 3 miles per hour instead of 2. So maybe that's a little concerning. But the braking stuff was all there for him. And then hitting wise for the Marlins, Max Acosta looked really good. Like he was pretty impressive to me. And then who else was pretty? Davison De Los Santos walked twice actually, which was rare. And then Agustin Ramirez, of course, looked pretty good. So it was interesting. I got to see Yairo Padilla, who's like the big prospect name for the Cardinals right now coming up. So I saw him for the first time. Apparently, he grew from like 6'1" to 6'4". He's only 16. He was only 16 last year as a shortstop in the Dominican League, and people have been raving about him. Like Jeff Ponce has been raving about him this offseason, and that's my first time seeing him. I actually like met him after the game. He signed a baseball for my kid too.
Yeah, those pictures were cool.
Yeah. So that was awesome though. That going to that game. I recommend if anyone can go to those spring breakout games, go because not a lot of people go. And I actually talked to like Chaim Bloom during the game, and like I talked to Peter Bendix too. So like I think I interrupted a trade. Like not really. They're I mean they both worked at the Rays I think at the same time, but they were talking and I actually like just went up and started just shooting the shit with them. So that's pretty cool. But anyway, besides that, let's get to TGFBI. You threw your TGFBI roster up there. You are still drafting, which is insane. But talk us through your roster here, Raymond.
Not only am I still drafting, we don't have like I haven't drafted a bench player yet, so I'm still filling up my starting roster. Yeah, it's been slow, dude. Everyone's pick time.
Games start in like 2 days.
Everyone's pick time, besides a couple people, is like well over an hour. So, like I got the email I was on deck a couple hours ago, and it's like, dude. But anyways, um, we talked last time about how I hit outfield pretty early. So since then, I double tap pitching Hunter Brown, Brian Wu. I like both of those picks, and then I had to address infield and relief pitcher, and there's a couple guys I got sniped on. I wanted Ryan Walker. He went a couple picks before me. Um, I don't remember who the other one was, but I settled for Justin Martinez, Jordan Romano, and then here with my last few late picks, I took some maybe guys with elite ratios, Griffin Jackson, Edwin Useta, that could end up getting saves.
I actually like that. I like your pen of it. It's better than mine, I think. Even though I don't trust Romano at all, I like Martinez and Uceta. I like a lot. Jax is like the best setup guy in baseball, so you love that. It's just like he'll probably only sneak a few saves in unless Duran gets hurt. But nice value you got on Grayson Rodriguez. I think when Grayson Rodriguez was drafted in my draft, it was pre-injury, so like because my draft went so much faster than yours that like he went in like the 8th round or something. So you got what, Grayson? What is that, like the 15th
6,
round?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th.
Yeah, 18th round. That's pretty sick. Apparently, he's only going to miss a month, roughly, is like the latest news.
I'll believe it when I see it. Elbows are tricky. Ramp up is tricky. He's one owie on a slider away from being out for another month. So, but no, I thought it was good value. It was worth the risk. I kind of ignored pitching long enough that I was like, if he's out forever, I don't really care too much. But yeah, dude, I got some speed at the middle infield positions. Turang and Edwards is having a really nice spring. Volpe is fine. But yeah, I need one more outfielder. I need to find some starting pitching. I got sniped on Bubba Chandler.
He already went. That's insane.
He went with like
in
the pick
TGFBI, that's insane because he's not gonna break camp
before my Sagano pick, so I settled there. But no, I like my team. I definitely felt the taking a catcher early tax. It feels like I should have one more high end hitter, but I think I got good value on Herrera too. So I really like my catchers, which is a far cry from what I've done the last couple of years in TGFBI. Had terrible catchers, so trying something different this year. I like my team.
Yeah,
power, speed.
I like it too. Herrera's good. My biggest concern for you is probably Mountcastle. I'm not a Mountcastle guy. You seem to be all over him this year, but like I just don't think he's going to get consistent playing time. I think he's going to be a platoon guy for the Orioles.
Yeah, I think there's some first baseman left still that I think will be all right, but I think he's going to be 75 or 80% playing time guy, more than 2/3, 120 games or whatever. So, third base, I kind of got locked out on. Had to settle for Young. So if he gets hurt, I'm kind of.
Norby can play third though, right?
I think Norby can play third, yeah, but yeah,
that's not bad. I like that. You could also win if Schwarber, for whatever reason, gets outfield eligibility. That would also help you out. So,
yeah, there's been some outfielders that I kind of liked. I was just like, I can't justify taking a fifth outfielder before I take some pitchers here. So,
yeah,
I'll just find whatever's left at the end, and yeah, maybe I'll make a pick live in a minute.
Yeah, nice. Pick Landon Roop if he's available. I've been getting him in every league I can.
I saw that his auction just finished in one of the Otno leagues, man.
I know. I had $6 on him, and then Joe got it for $7. And then Joe offered me a low ball trade in it for him in NLI because I also have an NLI.
But Joe's got fuck you Garrett Cole money right now.
Yeah. So my TGFBI team, I finished the other day. It actually went really slow at the very end. But this is what my team is. Starting catcher, I've got William Contreras and Tyler Stevenson, who Stevenson's hurt. So that sucks because I thought I got like a really nice duo with the two really good catchers. But Stevenson's hurt. But I don't think he's going to miss much time. Sounds like he's only going to miss a week or two. So I guess, 10 days or whatever. I got Nathaniel Lau at first. Low. He's a low. I think he's going to be hitting 4th or 5th for the Washington Nationals, who have a pretty good top of the lineup. So I like that. Matt McLean at 2nd, of course. Dansby Swanson at short. Royce Lewis at 3rd. So that's fun. Another injured guy, right? We'll find out what happened to him. We still don't know. He got hurt today. Outfield, I've got Aaron Judge, Wyatt Langford, Lawrence Butler, Elliot Ramos, Lars Newbar. Corner, I've got Carlos Santana. Middle infielder, I've got Jacob Wilson. My utility is Andy Pajes, who looks like he's going to get the starting center field job for the Dodgers. Looks like he won that, man. And then pitching, I've got Ryan Helsley, Bryce Miller, Tanner Bybee, Shane McClanahan, Shane Boz, Gavin Williams, Porter Hodge, Nestor Cortez, and Landon Roop right now in my starting pitching spots. My bench, I grabbed Jordan Lawler, who apparently Arizona said is going to be. It looks like he's going to break camp, and he's going to be like their super sub guy. So that's going to be pretty interesting, actually. If he gets like outfield and second base and third base eligibility too, I kind of love that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, it would be. Also on the bench, I've got Jordan Beck, who the Rockies really, really want to start. My last pick, my final pick of the whole draft was Jake Fraley. And then pitchers on my bench, I've got Brandon Woodruff, Max Scherzer. So we'll see if Scherzer breaks, or if he starts on the IL. And then I've got Justin Slayton and Seth Halverson. So I took a couple closer shots at the end of the draft. So basically my only locked in closer is Helsley. But according to Sarah Sanchez from Bleed Cubby Blue, she was saying during the Otnu Podcaster League draft that we did like a live stream of she was saying that Porter Hodge should get like a ton of saves for the Cubs this year. So I'm pretty cool with that. I love Seth Halverson. I think he should be the closer for the Rockies. He definitely has the best stuff in the pen. So we'll see what happens with Halverson. And then Slayton is kind of like a dark horse for Boston. If Chapman is walking too many guys and Liam Hendricks is like not healthy, then Slayton could be the dude. So what do you think of my team?
I like it, dude. I like Judge is just such a difference maker in power that your team just has a different feel than mine. I like the value on Swanson and Ramos too. Those are two good picks. And given your investment into relief pitcher, you kind of just took Helsley early and then waited. I like I like Porter Hodge. I have him in the Scott White Dynasty League. I got him for like $2. I couldn't believe it.
Nice.
Yeah, I like your value at first base too. Just kind of take Santana and Lowe and Lau, whoever.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my biggest concern now is that Tyler Stevenson's going to be out. So it's like now I've got to drop someone for a catcher already.
Did you see?
So that sucks.
Did you see Frank Stanfield's Tout Wars team or whatever? I forget what league it is, but his starting catchers were Sean Murphy and Tyler Stevenson.
Oh, it's so rough.
12 team or AL only.
Go spend all your fab on Drake Baldwin now.
Yeah, dude.
The Reds don't even have a backup. I can't even remember their backup is. It's someone terrible. So
yeah, dude,
they really need Stevenson to be healthy.
Remember last year when they said they wanted Tyler Stevenson to play like 150 games and everyone was like, dude, that's a bad idea.
Yeah. They might be signing like Yasmani Grandal to come out of retirement or something if he's really hurt. All right. So that's TGFBI. That's a little bit of spring stuff for you. We're going to get into the Dynasty. We're going to talk about outfield. And of course, I have outfield and utilities ranked together as always. So Raymond, you're going to love this first grouping of Cut 2. Tier 1A for the outfield util is a 30-year-old Shohei Ohtani, a 26-year-old Juan Soto, 27-year-old Ronald Acuna Jr., and 28-year-old Kyle Tucker. Go.
I had a note in here, and I was trying to find the right way to phrase it. Like, what are you, a masochist? Like,
I try to make it as hard as possible. Like that's kind of like. I mean, I'm not. I'm also just literally going by my rankings.
Yeah.
There is a couple times that I'll move a couple guys around. Like if there's a bunch of old guys and one young guy, I'll just be like, no, that's stupid, and then I'll just make the tier larger or smaller. So instead of doing like 3 guys, I'll just do like 5 or 4.
Oh man. This is so tough. I guess I'm going to keep Otani. Hall of Famers age differently, so even at 35, maybe he's not pitching then, but we're talking about outfielders, so keep Otani, redraft Tucker, I guess. I'm all in on Tucker on the contract year. I think that Cubs team is going to be really good. Going to have a good offense. And then can I just take the cop out and cut Acuna because of the knee surgery, and
Yeah, but then you still have to cut Soto then.
then I have to cut Soto too?
It's cut
But
too. Yeah.
Soto in a traditional 5x5, isn't it? He's like the lowest roto-y of the first round, so like I'm fine with that too, I guess. I don't know, dude. In a points league, he's like the third overall player or something, but it's just so tough. Like, just take your pick. It doesn't really matter.
You're keeping a 30-year-old Otani over a 26-year-old Juan Soto.
Otani had 50 steals last year or whatever, 40 steals.
Yeah.
Soto
Insane.
Soto had 42 home runs, and people are already penciling him for 35 instead this year. So like, if you can't get points for Juan Soto getting on base, yeah, I'm gonna cut Soto in a traditional roto league.
That's interesting. I think I'm with you actually though. I think in a traditional roto, I'd be doing the same thing as you. In points, what I would be doing though is I would be keeping Soto and redrafting Otani and then cutting Acuna.
Yeah, I would do that. I would do that as well. I have Soto in like my random dynasty league that I joined. That counts OPS, and he's a cheat code. And
Yeah. I have 0 shares this year of Juan Soto.
he's just in that dead zone in the first round where, like, if you pick 6 or something, 5, 6, you're looking at Soto. But you and I love Gunnar Henderson and others so much that it's like you take one of those guys.
Yeah, true. Ellie. I'm big on Ellie this year.
Yeah.
Tier 1B, another cut 2. You've got 24-year-old Corbin Carroll, 24-year-old Julio Rodriguez, 26-year-old Fernando Tatis Jr., and 28-year-old Yordan Alvarez. I can't believe Tatis is only 26. I thought he was older than that. Isn't that crazy? He's still only 26. He's been around forever.
He came up at 21 or whatever, right? He's had a weird career too.
Injuries, steroids.
I'm gonna redraft Alvarez. I love that power that you can get towards the front half of the second round. I think he's a true difference maker, even with the 140 games or whatever. One of these years, he's going to play 158 games and hit 45 home runs. 50 home runs. That's not out of the realm of possibility. I'm going to cut Tatis, I guess. And Julio, I guess. And keep Carroll. Julio starts slow. He's done it 2 years in a row. It's kind of disappointing last year. Tatis, injuries. Yeah. Carroll struggled last year and still scored like 140 runs or whatever. Like, I don't know. I think
I agree with that.
I don't know, dude. You can't go wrong. Like,
I'm on the same page as you because Tatis has injury issues, which are scary. Even though the upside might be the highest out of all of those guys, he has not been able to replicate that in a couple of years since the steroid suspension. Yordan, of course, has injury issues, so like that's not a keeper, and he's the oldest, so that's the guy you want to redraft. So really, to me, the keeper is between Carroll and J-Rod, and I think that Carroll, despite like how he and Julio were both very inconsistent last year, I trust Carroll's comeback. Second half, he bounced back strong. J-Rod never really bounced back, and Seattle doesn't seem like they want to surround him with good talent.
Yeah, and that's a terrible place to hit.
Yeah, they're like, okay, this is our plan. It's going to be all pitching, and then J-Rod is our only offensive player. Okay, that's great. Corbin Carroll has all kinds of talent around him. the Diamondbacks built a really nice lineup around him, a really nice team. So yeah, I'm going Carroll even from the team context in like a better ballpark to hit him. Plus, he'll be. I feel like he's more locked for like 2050 than J Rod is for the 30-30 upside. I think it's just more of a lock that Carroll hits his ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, Carroll's more like a 2040 guy, but is going to score at least 110 runs a year. Like, I don't know. If Julio puts it all together and is good from start to finish and goes 30-30 or whatever, I'll change my mind. But
Yeah.
2 years in a row, he's been unusable in April and part of May.
Yeah. Tier 2. This is a keep 2, cut 2. We have Wyatt Langford, 23 years old. Jackson Chorio, 21 years old. James Wood, 22 years old. Aaron Judge, 33. And Mookie Betts, 32.
This is another one that's incredibly difficult. I think there's a pretty decent shot Langford and Churio are first rounders next year. So I'm going to keep both of them. I'm going to redraft Aaron Judge. He's a top 3 player. And then, like, I feel better about cutting Betts than I do James Wood because he's 22 and might be the next Aaron Judge. But that's still a volatile profile, and I love the other two. I think they're a little bit ahead in development and are both 30-30 guys maybe. So
Yeah. The hardest thing to me, like, I'm definitely keeping Langford. I'm a huge Wyatt Langford fan. Aaron Judge is definitely the redraft guy. Like, you can't, like, he's too good to not redraft until he starts getting hurt again, or we start seeing a downtrend of his career. We haven't seen that yet, so you've got to redraft him. Betts had some injury issues last year, and I love Mookie because you can move him around like all over the diamond. So like he's great in a deep league because he's got like second, short, and outfield eligibility. But I'm still keeping Judge over him in a redraft sense. But for the keepers, Langford, Chorio, and Wood, like between Chorio and Wood, this is what it comes down to. Chorio is actually younger than Wood. Chorio has more speed than Wood. Wood hits the ball on the ground too much right now to really out homer Chorio at this point, I think. Like, I think they're going to have a similar home run total this year, even though Wood should hit more home runs. But the issue is he hits the ball on the ground 50% of the time. So you're going to get an extra 10 or 15 steals from Chorio over Wood. I think they're going to have similar batting averages. I do think Wood has better plate skills. Chorio's plate skills are not good. So I think that long term, Wood might end up being better than Chorio because Chorio still scares me. Even though he's a freak of it, like talent wise, I still get a feeling of there could be like Luis Robert type bad plate skills in there. Maybe not as bad because that was the comp that I had on him when he was coming up as a prospect, was Luis Robert or Luis Robert or whatever people call him. That was my comp for him. But now that he's up and he's playing, he is more consistent. He's not as bad as like in plate skills, but like that scare is still there to me. Like he still has inefficiencies in the plate approach. So I do
they're
have some,
not.
but so it's closer for me than it's really close. But like I'm gonna just go Chorio just because he's got an extra year, really, and because
He's
I
gonna
think
bat.
it got more speed in there right now.
He's gonna bat leadoff too, so he's gonna score a bunch of runs.
Wood's gonna hit probably second, right? Like, I mean, you got Abrams or third. You got Abrams and Cruz next to Wood. Like he's gonna have a good lineup around for a long time. So
Yeah, he might have more RBIs, but roster resources Wood batting third. That's not obviously bad either, but
yeah,
Churio's plate skills they're not O'Neal Cruz bad. They're I don't know. I think he's going to take a step forward. I think, yeah, like I said, I think he's a first rounder next year.
6.8% walk rate and 21% K rate. So yeah, he doesn't strike out as much as someone like an O'Neal Cruz or Luis Robert. So that's kind of the difference. Is like
Yeah,
he's slightly below average in the play skills department. It's not like he's like atrocious.
21, dude. He's 21.
Yeah, he's 21 this year. This year he's starting 21. Tier 3A, we've got cut 2. We've got Jazz Chisholm Jr., 27 years old, Jackson Merrill, 22 years old, Lawrence Butler, 24 years old, and O'Neal Cruz, 26 years old. Talking about O'Neal Cruz. Who do you have in this one, Raymond?
I was gonna say, talking about people like Jazz Chisholm's 27. I feel like he's older than that. But cut 2. I'm gonna cut Jazz. I was talking about trading for him in a league actually, so I had just recently looked up his career stats, and he misses a lot of games, and you know how I feel about the Yankees training staff. So those two things are probably not a good combination. Um, and then I'm gonna keep Merrill. Love that profile. I think it's very safe. He deserves to be a second round pick, and he's still got some decent ceiling too. And then from there, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna cut Cruz and redraft Butler, I guess.
Ooh, Team Butler. I've got so much Lawrence Butler. I love Butler.
I don't have any Lawrence Butler, but I love the power, love the ballpark. That lineup's coming around. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just feel like people treat O'Neal Cruz like he broke out already, and yeah, he hits the ball hard, but and like we talked about, like he stole like what 13 bases in August or whatever,
Yeah. And he's moving.
September, the last month of the year. So if he starts running that much, he's gonna just run his way into fantasy stardom. So it's tough between those last two, but I'll take Butler.
Yeah. I have the same keep. Like Jackson Merrill is the guy that you have to keep here. Insane batting, contact skills. Raymond fell off again here. So let's get Raymond back on. But insane contact skills for Jackson Merrill. And then we've got between Jazz and Butler is the tough one for me because O'Neal Cruz is the easy cut. I just think Jazz is going to be so good this year.
He's just got
Yeah,
to stay in the field.
exactly. I think I'm redrafting Jazz, even though I really love Lawrence Butler. I think he's my redraft, and Jackson Merrill is my keep. That's just what I'm doing here because I think Jazz could be 30-50. Like he's good enough to go 30-50 in New York. Tier 3B. This is a standard 3-man tier. We got Jaron Duran, 28 years old, Riley Green, 24 years old, and Michael Harris II, 24 years old. What are you doing in this one, Raymond?
I'm going to redraft Duran. Does redraft imply at cost?
Yeah. It's
I
like
don't
not
like.
a value. Like how we're going to value it. You can't be like, oh, is it $5 or $20? Like
I don't really love using a second round pick on Duran, so I guess I'm going to cut him. I'm going to redraft Riley Green. I think he's going at an appropriate rate, but I don't think
well,
there's.
I'll say this: the redraft is out of these three guys. Who do you just want for the next year? It's not really like a value. It's just like who do
Yeah,
you want for only 1 year? Like no value associated at all with any of them.
okay. Then I'll take Duran. And like, I love Riley Green, obviously, but I think his ceiling is just kind of capped. Like he doesn't run. That ballpark is going to hold back his power ceiling. Like he's a fine, as would say, keep it moving. Like 25-ish homers. He's going to hit 280. He's not going to kill you in anything other than the 7 steals he's probably going to get, but he's just fine. And he missed like 15 games last year. So he has like one nagging injury a year, it seems like, as well. But Michael Harris, he's finally getting a better batting lineup, it sounds. A lineup spot, excuse me. Might be batting fifth this year instead of ninth, which isn't ideal, I guess, but um, I still think that four is 2020, and he's got much more ceiling than Riley does.
Yeah. I'm swapping with you. I'm picking your Tigers guy, man. I'm redrafting Duran and I'm keeping Riley Green because I think that there's more power in there for Riley Green. I think he's going to have some 30+ homer seasons here, even in Detroit. And maybe, maybe there's a chance, in a couple of years, he's not with Detroit anymore. Who knows? Like you and I were talking about, if he wasn't playing in Yankee Stadium, he could have hit 40 bombs even. So I like Riley Green a lot. I think there's more in there. Michael Harris just seems to me like a really solid player, but I don't think he's going to ever reach that superstar status that a lot of people think he could hit. I just don't see it. And Riley Green has such a good hit tool. Like he's like top 10 hitter, just like as a hit from a hit tool standpoint in Major League Baseball. So like I really like the hit tool and the power mix from Riley Green. So I'm picking Green.
I just don't understand how he is 59th. Riley Green is 59th percentile in sprint speed. It's like it's mind-boggling. Like he plays center field. Like no one else probably has ever noticed this, but like Riley Green and Aiden Hutchinson, that starred defensive end from the Lions, have like this weird quirk where like you watch them when they're not playing and they just look goofy and unathletic. It's like they have to save all their athleticism for, like between the lines or like while they're playing. It's just something funny I've noticed. Like if you watched him just like jog off the field, you wouldn't think he's a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah, I thought the same thing from Kyle Tucker for a while though, and he's really good. So tier 4A, this is a cut two, four-man tier. We've got Brent Rooker at 30 years old, Jason Dominguez at 22, Roman Anthony at 21, and Christian Campbell at 23. This is a tough one. This is a really tough one. What are you doing here, Raymond? We got my top three prospects in this tier between Dominguez, Anthony, and Campbell.
I'm gonna redraft Rooker. I think that's the obvious answer because you don't know what you're gonna get out of the other three. And then I'm gonna cut Dominguez. The defense has me worried. Yankees prospects don't have a great track record recently. Like, I don't know. I could just see the defense being such a problem that it starts to affect the hitting, mostly on the mental side, I guess. And then I'm gonna keep Roman Anthony and cut Christian Campbell just because I have to pick, I guess. I don't know, dude. Like, that's an impossible choice.
Yeah, it's rough. Dominguez has had a pretty good spring too, and I saw him. The dude is so freaking like he is yoked. Like he's a freak of nature. He's like so jacked. Dominguez is. It just Roman Anthony has been so impressive this spring. I mean, Dominguez has 2 bombs and 2 steals himself, so it's not like he's a slouch this spring. You know what I mean? But Roman Anthony has been so impressive that I almost think that like if I were to redo my top 100 prospects now, I think I'd put Anthony ahead of Dominguez now. He's just been so good this spring. So I think I'm with you. I'm keeping Anthony, and Rooker is the redraft guy. Actually, you know what? You know what I'm doing? I am going to be redrafting Dominguez because I want the power and the speed. Rooker is going to give you power and batting average, but Dominguez is going to have a good year this year, I think. So I think if you're just taking it from an all-around perspective, I guess I would redraft Dominguez because I think Dominguez is going to go 2020 this year. I'd probably rather take that than 40-0 in most leagues or 35-0, whatever Rooker is probably going to do, 35-5 or something. So I'm gonna go Dominguez actually for my redraft, and then Anthony for my keeper. That makes me feel a little bit better about my my prospect rankings.
Yeah, no, that's fair, I guess. I don't know, ever since like even the Little League World Series game that the Tigers Yankees played last year, like he completely fumbled 2 balls in the outfield and he was the main reason the Tigers won that game. Like they weren't errors, but he was the reason they won. So
Yeah, they're hiding him in left field though. So
yeah.
Tier 4B, we're going to cut 3. We've got a 23-year-old Dylan Cruz, a 22-year-old Emmanuel Rodriguez, a 32-year-old Kyle Schwarber, 32-year-old Teoscar, and 30-year-old Santander. So keep 1, redraft 1, cut 3.
I'm gonna keep. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna keep Cruz, redraft Schwarber, and cut the other three.
Yeah, that's the move. That's what I'm doing
I
too.
love Schwarber, dude. One of the other reasons I don't want to draft Otani first overall, that like we were talking about before we started, is locks you out of that whole tier in like that fifth, sixth round of Schwarber, Rooker, Ozuna, and I think all those guys are great values.
Yeah, Schwarber is outfield eligible in Yahoo and in Otnu.
Otnu,
So,
yeah.
yeah, baby. If Schwarber's outfield eligible, I'm all in on that. It sucks when they're utility only. I hate having like clogging my utility spot. I want to like move guys around and stuff. But yeah, Dylan Cruz over Emmanuel Rodriguez. Rodriguez just can't stay healthy. I think Rodriguez has a higher upside than Dylan Cruz because I think he has a way more power upside. Like there's another guy who could go 30-20 or something. But he just can't stay healthy. So I'm
I'm
concerned about
telling
that.
you, dude, the Twins pissed off the injury gods.
Yeah, they can't. And all their guys, it doesn't matter. It's crazy. Tier 4C is a cut two. We've got Colton Cowser at 25, Elliot Ramos at 25, Stephen Kwan at 27, and Luis Robert Jr. 27.
I got to cut two. I'm going to cut. Oh, this is tough. I'm going to cut Kwan. I think I'm going to keep Ramos. Keep Ramos. Redraft. Redraft Robert. Cut Cowser. Cowser's fine, but the Orioles just seem like they have too many people, not enough positions. He's probably not going to get full-time playing time. Um, Ramos, did you see he's going to lead off against lefties and then probably bat fifth or sixth against righties?
Really? I didn't know he was going to
Um,
get off. That's sick.
yeah, that's what they were. That news came out yesterday, the day before. He and then he went 2 for 3 with a homer and 4 RBIs yesterday. Like, I think he's just really good.
I've got him in like I'm in 9 leagues this year, and I've got him in 6, I think.
I think I have him in the other three. I have
Yeah.
him. At least I have him in NLI and Dynasty, darling. So yeah, I really like Ramos. I think he's a good value. And then if you're in a league that counts each left, right, center, he can play all three. So that's always helpful.
Hmm.
And then redraft Robert. I just think this is the year. Either he's going to do it or he's not. And he's still going at a pretty good discount that whatever version of power speed you get, whether that's 20, 30, 30, 20, there's so much talent there that by the time he's on a new team around the deadline, I think he's going to be really good.
Yeah. Originally I was gonna keep Cowser and then redraft Ramos, but I think you changed my mind here. I think I'm gonna keep Ramos too, but I'm gonna redraft Cowser because I just don't want anyone on the White Sox. I want nothing to do with a White Sox player.
Dude, I'm kind of vibing on the White Sox. Like they kind of, I don't know. They've made a couple
The only
smart
White Sox I
moves.
want is Sean Burke because because we saw what Crochet did last year, and I think Burke could just be Crochet this year.
I like Davis Martin, that, and then I don't know, Shane Smith. They got some interesting players.
Yeah, they have some interesting pitching, and they've got some interesting guys that are in AAA right now.
They've got like three
Maybe by
interesting
the end of the
pitchers.
year, they're going to be a fun team. But by that point, Lou Bob's going to be traded by that point anyway. So whatever.
I just keep thinking of like Lou Bob, center fielder for the Phillies, and it's like, how do you not get excited about that? And you know who else needs a center fielder is the Dodgers.
No, Andy Pajes, keep him there. I've got him in TGFBI. Keep him there. Tier 5A, cut 2. We've got Ian Happ at 30, Seiya Suzuki at 30, Josh Lau at 27, and Brian Reynolds at 30. So 3 30-year-olds here.
Yeah, you didn't do that on purpose. I'm gonna cut low. He doesn't play against lefties. He's always hurt. He plays for the Rays. I've never been a low guy, so that's an easy cut for me. The second cut is going to be a little bit harder. I like all three of these guys, especially at cost. I think they all come at a little bit of a discount. I guess I'm gonna cut Reynolds, and that's has less to do with Reynolds and more of the circumstances around him. So then I will. I guess I have to keep someone. It doesn't really matter. Hap, I'll keep Hap. Hap or Suzuki, I don't really care.
You know what I'm doing? I'm doing the same thing, but I'm going to redraft Hap and keep Suzuki. And the reason is that for whatever reason, Japanese players seem to like
Age gracefully.
yeah, they live forever. I just think of Ichiro playing until he's like 45, and like you Darvish still pitching at 30, like it gets a 6-year contract at 37 or 38 or whatever. So
Right.
I'm like these Japanese guys, they know how to stay in shape. They drink green tea all day. They like, do whatever, I don't know what kind of crap they do, but they for whatever reason they can play longer. So even though I really love Hap, I'm going to do Suzuki for my keeper and Hap is my redraft.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a coin flip for me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll take the cultural upswing of these guys are healthier than Americans. There we go. Tier 5B is a cut 2. We got Randy Rosarania at 30. Brenton Doyle is 27. Kerry Carpenter is 27. And Cody Bellinger is 29.
This is a tier of people I don't really like. I'm going to keep Carpenter. I guess I'll do the homer pick. He's the youngest. They're talking about him playing more against lefties, so that might be bad for his batting average, but good for his other counting stats. We'll see if that actually happens. But I mean, even if he doesn't, he's going to get enough pinch hits at bats and start against righties. He'll still be a 30 homer guy. I want to cut the other 3, to be honest with you. But since I can't do that, I don't draft any of these guys. I do have one share of Doyle, I think. I'll redraft Doyle, cut the other 2.
I have one share of Cody Bellinger. So I'm going to redraft Belly, kind of believing in him a little bit in New York. It's a great stadium for him. And I'm going to keep Brenton Doyle because I think that he has the highest upside of all of these guys, and there's a chance that he makes it happen.
Yeah.
There's a chance. And Kerry Carpenter is a platoon guy, so like
I
even though
might
he has
have
the power in the hit tool, he just can't hit lefties.
I have a Raymondism about Kerry Carpenter, to be honest with you.
Tease. There we go. Tier 5C, cut 2, redraft 2. We've got Jordan Walker at 23, Marcell Ozuna at 34, Lars Nootbaar at 27, Christian Yelich at 33, and Mike Trout at 33.
Yeesh. I'm going to cut Walker, redraft Ozuna. Oh no. I guess I have to keep Nootbaar. I don't want to keep Yelich or Trout for 3 to 5 years. I'm gonna have to keep Nootbaar. And then, man, I'll redraft Trout. Cut Yelich.
Cutting Yelich. So in this tier, I am going to also keep Nootbaar because I just don't trust that Jordan Walker is going to do anything, which makes me sad as a Cardinals
I
fan.
want it to happen. He's only 23 still.
Yeah, he's only 23, but he just keeps getting weird stuff happening to him. Freaking sprinkler. Like I saw him twice this spring already, and he looked like crap. So I'm just not in. Nootbaar actually looks good and knows how to take at bats. Like he's a really good hitter when he's healthy. So I'll take Nootbaar. And then my redraft guys, I'm going to redraft Yelich and Trout. So
I wanted to.
Yelich, the back surgery was apparently a corrective surgery to fix his back forever. So
That's
I'm
not how back surgeries work, but okay.
Well, his back surgery was not a surgery out of necessity. It was not like, hey, your back is dead. You need to fix it. It was like, hey, you can fix your back problems. All those problems that you've had with your back, we can fix it now for good with this surgery. So that's what he did. So I'm gonna buy it until I don't buy it anyway. So I'm redrafting Yelich, and then I'm gonna redraft Trout just because when it comes down to Trout or Ozuna, if I'm in a redraft league, I'm gonna take my shot. I'd rather just take my shot on Trout. Ozuna's been better lately, but I've watched Ozuna play on the Cardinals for years, and that guy is so up and down. Like he could just completely fall off a cliff at some point. So he's a scary guy to own. Next is Lane Thomas. We've got a four-man tier. Lane Thomas at 29 years old. This is the former Cardinal tier. Lane Thomas at 29 years old. Cedric Mullins at 30. Tyler O'Neill at 30. And Tommy Edman at 30. Cut two.
I'm going to cut Thomas and O'Neill. I will redraft Mullins and keep Edman. I think Edman's going to pick up second base eligibility, and that's going to be awesome for everyone. Tyler O'Neill, cue up the what the hell are the Orioles doing with their major league roster. And then Lane Thomas is just kind of a one category steals guy.
I'm going to redraft Lane Thomas and then keep Edman and then cut Mullins and O'Neill. The Orioles have too many guys. All those guys are going to be in all kinds of weird platoons and stuff's going to be going on. Lane Thomas has rebounded in the playoffs for the Guardians after like having a crappy time when he first got there. So I'm in on Lane Thomas for redraft. Edman is my favorite player out of all these guys easily.
Yeah, me too.
Tier 5E, we're going to cut to. We've got Pete Crow Armstrong at 23 years old, Garrett Mitchell at 26, Alec Burleson at 26, and Parker Meadows at 25.
This is, I will redraft Burleson. Dude, I don't know. Who do you think is the highest ceiling in here? I will keep.
High ceiling PCA probably.
That hit tool is just so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. Take your pick. I'll keep Meadows. I think he's a 2020 guy, but I don't know. He's not going to hit for much more power than that. He is going to play every day because his defense is so good. He's just going to bat ninth against lefties. And then I don't think he's going to hit more than 20 home runs in Comerica, but I think the skill set is good, safe, repeatable. He's just got that weird nerve thing going on right now. Yeah.
I am keeping you know what? I'm gonna keep Garrett Mitchell and redraft Alec Burleson. I really love Garrett Mitchell. I have for a long time. I'm just hoping he's healthy. It's like a Lars Nootbaar situation all over again, but for the Brewers. Like he has so much upside. It's just stay healthy. Burleson has looked really good this spring, by the way. He's looked really good at the plate. So Burleson might have like he's showed a lot of power this spring. So there might be more homers this year for Alec Burleson. Like he could hit over 25, I think, this year in St. Louis, which is tough for lefties.
Dude, Garrett Mitchell is one of the guys I always see stats on Twitter that's like, Garrett Mitchell is one of 6 players to hit a ball 110, hit at least 300, yada yada, and then he's on a list with like Ohtani, Acuna, and it's like, man, the talent is the 5-tool talent is there. He's just got to stay on the field.
Yeah. That's why in NL I drafted both Garrett Mitchell and Lars Nootbaar, so that.
Oh, here it is. I found it. Only three hitters had a bat speed over 75 miles an hour and a sprint speed in the 90th percentile. Ellie, Julio, Garrett Mitchell. Like he's on those lists all the time.
Statcast darling. Tier 5F, last one for hitters. Cut 2. Evan Carter, 22 years old. Spencer Jones, 24. Chase DeLauder, 23. Charlie Condon, 22. 2 of these guys are injured right now.
I was just going to say, I think this kind of made this easy. I'm going to keep Jones, redraft Carter. I actually just did that in your league. And then I would cut DeLauder twice if I could. I'm so
Mhm.
bitter about his hernia. Condon has a bad wrist injury, they said. So hopefully that doesn't linger, but that'll probably, even when he comes back, that could ruin his whole season. So the injuries kind of made that easy, but dude, I hope the Guardians just put DeLauder on the major league roster as soon as he's healthy.
Yeah, I I'm gonna do the same thing. I saw Spencer Jones live. He is a very, very large human. Like he made
he,
everyone else look tiny. Like I
he
saw
is
him come
not
to the bat.
small.
I did, and of course it's the Yankees, so they have no names on the back of their jerseys, and so I didn't know who. I just saw a huge guy come up to bat. I'm like, who the hell is that? That guy's a monster. And then the announcer goes, Spencer Jones, and I'm like, oh, of course. The dude is a freaking tank of a human. So hopefully he figures it out because he could be a ton of fun. So I'm doing the same thing.
Bro,
Now
I
let's
think
get to pitchers.
I think I'm gonna put some money on the Brewers to win the World Series. They have such If Yelich is healthy, Jackson Churio could be an MVP. Garrett Mitchell stays healthy. Reese Hoskins
Hoskins, 5
has
homers.
like 7 home runs in spring already. I think he hit another one today. Brandon Woodruff is healthy.
Yeah,
Bryce Two, like, yeah,
they're
I'm gonna
probably
do that.
really cheap. It's probably a cheap buy, and the NL
Yeah,
Central also sucks. So there's a really good shot. Like the Cubs are their only competition, basically.
yeah.
I mean, Pirates have good pitching, but hitting, yeah, they're the Mariners of the NL. So pitchers, Tier 1A, talking about the Pirates, you got Paul Skeens, 23 years old, Spencer Strider, 26 years old, and Tarek Skubal, 28 years old. What are you doing here, Tigers fan?
I'm going to. This is actually kind of easy for me. I'm gonna cut Scooble. He's had 2 elbow surgeries already. He had one in college, one a few years ago. 5 years from now, he'll be 33. I don't know. I love him. He's awesome. He's literally my favorite player. But I will cut him. Redraft Skeens. Keep Strider because Strider just had elbow surgery, so you can kind of assume he's going to be good for 3 years. The elbow will be healthy at least for 3 years. So, like, is that bad?
That's all. Well, so basically, you're assuming that Skeens is not going to be healthy for the next 3 to 5 years.
I would assume he's going to
Otherwise,
have.
you would just keep him because he's amazing.
No, I mean, yeah, I love him. Don't get me wrong, but like, it's not like keeping Strider's bad.
No,
Like, it's not like there's a huge discrepancy there. Like, he was SP1 coming into last year.
the thing is, I think there is. Paul Skeens is so damn good. I'm gonna keep Paul Skeens, and I'm going to redraft Scooble just because Strider uh, is But you know what? Strider's making a start. I think tomorrow. So
Yeah, I think you're
he could
right.
actually be back way sooner than anyone expects. Like he could be back in the middle of April or
I
something.
don't think they would let him be back that soon. Um,
Well, if Matt, so basically he's starting his spring training now, so that means he's only like 3 weeks behind everybody else.
I think they said he's coming back in May, no matter what, and I would assume they'll stick to it.
Yeah, maybe. I'm keeping Skeens though. He's too good. He's like the best pitcher ever.
He's a
Uh,
he's a generational pitching talent.
He's just insane. Tier 1B, we're cutting two. We got 28-year-old Logan Gilbert, 27-year-old Shane McClanahan, 26-year-old Yoshi Yamamoto, and 23-year-old Roki Sasaki.
Yeesh. I'm gonna cut McClanahan. Redraft Gilbert. I don't know. Keep Sasaki. Cut
Ooh.
Yamamoto. I don't know. This is so hard.
That's the point.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it is hard. I'm gonna keep The redraft one is the easiest, right? Logan Gilbert is so consistent that
Yeah.
you'd be a fool to not redraft him because he's probably gonna have a 3.3 ERA with a bunch of Ks and pitch close to 200 innings. Basically, he's been basically Sandy Alcantara since Sandy Alcantara got hurt. Um, and then we've got 3 really good guys. McClanahan just came back from TJ though, so maybe he's going to be good for 3 to 5 years. That means Yamamoto was hurt last year. It scares me. You know what? This is tough. To me, I'm cutting Yamamoto first. It's going to be between Roki and McClanahan. Roki also has injury issues. McClanahan just had surgery. I think I'm going to keep McClanahan based on that. But it's freaking close.
I think the Dodgers are going to nerf the ceiling of both of those guys. They're going to have a 6-man rotation. They're not going to, I don't know. How many times are they going to go into the 6th inning? They're probably going to end up on the IL a couple times. I think the Dodgers are going to play games more than. And then, I don't see it changing next year. They're still going to have Ohtani. They're still going to have both of those guys.
Yeah.
They pitched on a 6-man rotation in Japan.
Now.
They're going to have Snell and Glatt. Nothing is going to change unless they make some trades. But, I don't see that happening. So, yeah, I think the Dodgers are going to be fantasy kryptonite to some of those guys, especially if you're in a quality starts league.
Yeah, agreed. In a draft, I just did my last draft today. It was an Otno league, and I got Yamamoto and Roki Sasaki in it.
Nice.
Yeah, I had $100, and I only needed 4 players. So,
for those of you that don't know, Otnu doesn't give a shit about wins or quality starts. You just get points for innings pitched and getting outs. So,
yeah,
those guys are perfect in that league.
Yeah, exactly. Because you only get 8 starts or whatever. So if you get 1 from each of those guys every week, you don't need the 2 start. It's fine.
Right.
Tier 2A is a cut 2. I've got a 27-year-old George Kirby, a 29-year-old Dylan Cease, a 25-year-old Grayson Rodriguez, and a 30-year-old Corbin Burns.
Cut 2. I'm going to redraft Burns. He's super consistent. He's in a good ballpark. He figured out that cutter towards the end of last year. He's spoken about figuring out that cutter towards the end of last year, so it's not just us projecting. I'm going to cut Grayson as much as that hurts me. There is a lot of projection in him becoming a fantasy ace, and he's had injuries 2 years in a row now, and we don't even know how this elbow's going to end up. Like you said, he might be out for a month. He could definitely be longer than that. So then it comes down to, I'll keep Kirby, cut Cease.
I am keeping Kirby too, just because even though Grayson has the higher ceiling, Kirby's floor is super low, and it's not an elbow injury for him. So I feel a little bit better, even though it is still shoulder. Shoulders can be worse than elbows. Look at Woodruff. Dylan C. Woodruff has a weird nerve issue thing. It's like a one in a million thing though. Dylan Cease is who I'm going to redraft. I like Cease more than Burns. I think he's going to get more Ks. I'm a big Dylan Cease fan, so I'm redrafting Cease, keeping George Kirby. Tier 2B, this is a cut 2. We've got a 27-year-old Cole Reagans, a 26-year-old Bryce Miller, 26-year-old Garrett Crochet, and 22-year-old Yuri Perez. This one is hard. Have fun.
This one is hard. Oh my God. I'm going to keep Yuri, redraft Crochet, and cut the other 2. Man. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
That's tough. I'm going to redraft Cole Reagans, and then I'm going to keep Yuri. Yuri has the huge age advantage here, so he's like almost a lock to keep. I feel like, even though all these guys are awesome.
Yeah, you talking 3 to 5. He'll be 27 in 5 years.
Reagans, I am picking over Crochet because of the ballpark. way better ballpark, even though they both have similar K upside. And then I'm picking Reagan's over Bryce Miller just for the Ks. Even though Bryce Miller is going to kill it in whip, like he's like his whip is under 1.
0.8.
Yeah,
it's
and
a
he
standout.
also has a really good ballpark too. He's just not going to get as many Ks as Reagan's and Crochet. So
I feel like this might come off as a hypocrite, but I feel like Cole Reagans is a really old 27. Like he's also had 2 Tommy Johns.
yeah,
And
that's
so
why
like
that's why I would redraft him though. Like that's why he's a redraft and not a keep.
yeah, that's fair. I just think Garrett Crochet is pitching for a contract and is going to be really good.
Maybe Boston is a hard place to pitch though, so a lot harder than.
Did you see his stat line from today? I think he pitched
He's
today.
been insane, but he's also been pitching in Florida where it's at sea level. So,
Yeah.
Tier 2C, keep 2, cut 2. We've got Hunter Green at 25 years old, Blake Snell at 32, Spencer Schwellenbach at 25, Andrew Painter at 22, and Shane Baz at 26. This is another tough one.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to keep Painter and Schwellenbach. I will redraft Blake Snell, but only in Roto, where I don't have a choice. I don't want Blake Snell in head-to-head. So then I'll cut Green and Baz.
I am going to redraft Hunter Green. I think he's going to be phenomenal this year as long as his elbow ligament stays intact. And then I'm going to keep Schwellenbach and Painter. I kind of want to keep Schwellenbach and Green just because they've done it in the pros and then like redraft Snell. But the issue is that I don't think Hunter Green is going to stay healthy for 3 to 5 years because he throws 100 miles an hour. So, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about, Skeens, but like, I don't know. I think Skeens is just going to be a freak. I feel like he's going to be a Garrett Cole and not get, not need elbow surgery until he's like 33 or something.
I get what you're saying. And I think it's like, I don't know if it's the routine, if it's the frame, the build. Like it's just it feels like there's something different about Skeens. I agree with you, and it's hard to quantify, but I would not be surprised if he's just like Justin Verlander and is like a clean bill of health for a decade.
Yeah. Tier 3A, cut 2. We've got 25-year-old Brian Wu, 28-year-old Logan Webb, 26-year-old Tanner Bybee, and 26-year-old Hunter Brown.
Man, I think this tier is harder than the last one. I really like Logan Webb. I'm going to redraft Webb. The keeper here is hard. I guess I'm going to keep Brian Wu. I also want to keep Hunter Brown just to talk this out, but I'm going to keep Wu, redraft Webb. I like Tanner Bybee. I mean, he's got 3 great off-speed pitches, but his fastball is just so bad that I think the ceiling is kind of capped there. And then I'll cut Hunter Brown, I guess. I like all these guys. I love shopping in this tier.
Yeah, I do too.
I just traded Tanner Bybee in a 14-team Dynasty League for JJ Weatherholt.
Oh, really? Nice. That was the trade, straight up.
Yeah.
Bybee.
Well, I traded Bybee for the 3 pick is what it worked out to, but yeah.
Huh. So for me, dude, I think I'm going to keep I'm going to keep Wu. Even though he's had injury issues, like he's so good.
They just have such a boost from that ballpark and each other, honestly.
I'm going to redraft. This goes against the grain a little because I like Webb a lot too, but I'm going to redraft Bybee. I think Bybee's in for a big year. Apparently his shoulder was bothering him all year last year. Like at the end of the season, he missed some starts because of his shoulder, but apparently his shoulder was bothering him like the entire season.
I didn't know that.
It came out in like Sports Illustrated a couple weeks ago that like basically he was hurt like the whole year last year, just playing hurt. and now he's not hurt anymore. So he basically had to undergo some mechanical tweaks and stuff. And now apparently last year he was pitching with pain the whole time, and like now he's pain free. So if he was doing what he did with like through an injury, like I just think that there's another step forward for him.
Yeah, and could be. Yeah.
Tier 3B is a cut two. We've got 29-year-old Joe Ryan, 29-year-old Sandy Alcantara, 22-year-old Jackson Jobe, and 23-year-old Jared Jones.
Man, I'm going to. Wow, I'm gonna redraft Sandy. I love Joe Ryan too, though. I just think I'm gonna redraft Joe Ryan. Sandy coming off Tommy John. Craig Mish said he's not gonna have any innings caps or whatever, but I don't know if that's true. Um, I do love that's so tough. And then I'm going to keep. I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep Jared Jones. I don't know if that sounds dumb, but Job needs to figure out how to miss bats, and he hasn't done it yet. And I trust him to do it, but I think Jones is really good.
Yeah. I think I'm with you, dude. I'm going to keep Jones too, but I'm going to redraft Sandy. I'm trusting Sandy. He's already been throwing like 100 this spring, and he's really good. And I think that there's a good shot he's traded. The Marlins want him to be awesome so that they can trade him.
Yeah, it's
get a
Garrett
lot
Crochet
for him.
all over again, right?
Yeah,
Except
basically.
they want to trade him by the deadline.
Yeah, the Yankees and the Marlins have already traded with the Jazz trade. The Yankees, I don't know if they're gonna have to trade for Sandy. It's gonna be like Spencer Jones and Lombard and like basically anyone that's not the Martian is gonna get traded if they do that. But
I heard some stuff about Lombard looking good in spring in
yeah,
one of
I
those
saw.
breakout games.
Yeah, he. So I actually mentioned because I have some video. If you go on my YouTube channel, I saw the Yankees and the Cardinals play, and I saw Lombard. And when I saw him, I was like, he's bigger this year. Like he put on muscle. Last year, he looked like skinny, like thin, like a kid. Now he's like filled out. He looks like a dude instead of a kid. Like, if you know what I mean. Like
Yeah, no, that's a
that's
distinction.
the difference because he had a really good plate skills when I saw him last year. Like really great eye. And again, when I saw him this year, like he looked good. And now he's just filling out more. Like he's getting big. So I like him. Tier 3C. 30-year-old Michael King, 31-year-old Framber, 31-year-old Tyler Glasnow, and 29. And talk about painting Glasnow looked really good today. And 29-year-old Pablo Lopez.
I'm gonna cut glass now. You can just rerun everything I said about Yamamoto and Sasaki, and then add on some extra injury issues. Um, I think I'm gonna redraft Fromber. I love the floor, the ground ball profile. He's not going to give up a lot of home runs. He's going to run some higher ratios just based on people getting on base from ground balls, but I think he's like the perfect SP2. And if you're pushing it, I can settle for him as my SP1 sometimes. Um, from there, I'm going to redraft Lopez, and I will cut Michael King.
Interesting. This one, I think I'm.
I think I did two redrafts. Did I say
Yeah, you
keep
did.
Lopez? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll keep Lopez.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep Framber because he's the safest out of all of these guys. Everyone else has like major injury issues in the past. And I'm going to redraft Michael King. I like Michael King a lot this year. I think he's a free agent after the season. So
Ooh,
I'll redraft him and then I'll just keep Framber because he's so. I think Framber's also a free agent, but he's just so safe. I feel like Framber is not quite bulletproof because he got hurt last year, but like he's one of these guys that I feel like is going to be good when he's older. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
just
he's gonna age well.
pick this
He
year.
also, towards the end of last season, dude, he started getting way more strikeouts than he normally does too. So I don't know if that was just an aberration or like something changed. But if he can pick that back up, like he was pitching like a top 12 pitcher down the stretch last year, and I don't know that it got a lot of attention.
Yeah. Next tier is another cut too. We've got 30-year-old Zach Gallen, 35-year-old Zach Wheeler, 30-year-old Shohei Ohtani, the pitcher only, and then 31-year-old Shota Imanaga.
I think this is pretty easy. I'm gonna redraft Wheeler. I'm gonna cut Gallon. I'm gonna cut Otani, and I'm gonna keep Shota.
Hmm.
Gallon has not been aging gracefully. He threw like 240 innings that one year they made that deep playoff run, and I feel like
He's been pitching on a bad elbow ligament for like 3 years now.
yeah, and I think he's been going the other way since then. Yeah, he's one of the ones that like successfully did the no Tommy John rehab, which
Yeah.
is rare.
Yeah.
So, but like he was not that good last year. I think that's an easy cut. But
Yeah.
again, the Dodgers and Otani, if you're talking strictly pitcher Otani, I looked up his stats today actually because I was dealing with that first overall pick decision in my home league, and he's still really good, assuming he is who he is when he comes back. But
Yeah.
it's tough.
I think I'm doing the same thing as you. I'm doing that too. I don't trust Gallen's injury history. Wheeler, yeah, Wheeler's awesome still, but he's 35, so he's not going to be awesome forever. But yeah, I think I'm going to. I don't think Wheeler has 3 to 5 years left. Maybe he's got two. Maybe he's got 2 or 3. But I don't think he's going to make it to 40. You know what I mean? Like I don't think he's a
Yeah,
real guy. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna just redraft Wheeler and then keep Imanaga too. Tier 3E, we've got a 3-man tier here. Chase Burns is 22 years old, Ryan Pepio is 27, and Gavin Williams is 25. What are you doing with this interesting little fire tier here?
I'm just so scared of Great American Ballpark. I'm gonna redraft Gavin. He's been shoving this spring. I'm gonna keep Burns and now cut Pepio, and I will get over my fears of the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm doing that too. Chase Burns is so good.
I
He's when we talked about the most underrated prospects on the Potapalooza episode that I was on with Eric Cross and Doc. My most underrated player was Chase Burns because I've I did a P1 ADP draft and I got Chase Burns in like the 4th or 5th round. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? This is a top 20 player for me. Like, why is he going to the 4th or 5th round? People are just for whatever reason he didn't pitch last year, so everyone's all up on Hagen Smith, but then they're not up on Chase Burns. He struck out almost 200 guys in 100 innings last year. He's insane. He's ridiculously good. So Chase Burns is being slept on big time. I even got him for $2 in our 16 team in our brand new Carolina Cup 16 team. I got Chase Burns for $2. Just a
I saw
steal.
that.
Tier 4A is a keep two, cut two. We got, and I think Bubba Chandler, talking about a steal. Bubba Chandler was like $20 in that draft, and I got Chase Burns for 2. So
Jackson Job went for like 24.
yeah. Yeah. So we got Bubba Chandler here at 22 years old, Taj Bradley, 24, Quinn Matthews is 24, Noah Schultz is 21, and Brandon Pfaadt is 26.
I'm going to wait, what are we doing? Cut two, keep two. I'm going to
Keep two,
keep.
cut two, redraft one.
Oh, this is tough. I want to keep. I want to keep Bubba, Matthews, and Schultz.
Of
So
course
I
you
will.
can, though.
I'm gonna get ballsy and say I'm gonna redraft Bubba, and I'll keep Matthews and Schultz. Do you think Matthews makes the rotation?
Opening day? No, he's already in the minors. They already
Oh,
just
okay,
went down.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
good then. And then I'm gonna cut Bradley and Fott. I think Bubba Chandler's up this year, and probably relatively quickly. I bet he's just on the Jared Jones timeline.
I see. I don't think so. Jared Jones broke camp last year. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think so.
true.
I don't think so. Even Paul Skeen's timeline. I don't even think that. I think Thomas Harrington is going to come up first. I've been saying that. So.
Um, Tosh Bradley, I mean, he was really bad for a pretty decent stretch last year, and then I'm just worried about that small ballpark and also what the weather is going to do to starting pitchers. That's going to be a nightmare.
He gave a lot of homers last year. I'm gonna still redraft him though. I like Taj. I'm gonna redraft Taj, and I'm gonna keep Bubba Chandler and Quinn Matthews. Noah Schultz is gonna be awesome,
Yeah, he is.
but I like Matthews better. I gotta go with what I actually did. There's a league where I had because in Dynasty Darlings I had Noah Schultz and then I dropped it. I only wanted to keep one pitcher. I ended up keeping Quinn Matthews instead of Noah Schultz. So I've got to, that's what I did in real life in one of my leagues. So I'm going to back it up here. Quinn Matthews and Bubba Chandler are the keeps for me. Tier 4B is a keep two, cut two. We've got a 36-year-old Chris Sale, 21-year-old Hagen Smith, 37-year-old Jacob deGrom, 25-year-old Kumar Rocker, and 29-year-old Bailey Ober.
Man, I'm going to redraft Sale. I will keep Hagen Smith. I will cut deGrom. I will cut Rocker, and I will keep Bailey Ober. And I feel pretty good about that. I don't have a single deGrom share. I don't know that. I mean, part of that is I'm in a lot of leagues with Sam, and Sam has him everywhere. Um, yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that.
I'm going to redraft deGrom and then keep Hagen Smith and keep Kumar Rocker. I'm cutting Ober and I'm cutting Sale. I don't really trust Ober long
See, I
term.
don't trust Rocker.
He was so good. He was so good last year in the minors. And Keith Law is saying that he's like Rocker's the third best pitcher on the team and stuff like that. So like I don't know. I like Rocker. My F scores love Rocker. Like they think he's ridiculous. So I'm gonna trust the Rocker and Hagen Smith keeps.
Yeah, that's fair.
Your 4C is a keep two, cut two. We've got 30-year-old Shane Bieber, 29-year-old Freddie Peralta, 31-year-old Max Fried, 34-year-old Garrett Cole, and 28-year-old Christopher Sanchez. We got two injured guys here.
Yeah, I'm going to cut Cole. That's easy. I'm going to redraft Fried. And then the second keep here is tough. I'm going to keep Sanchez for sure. I really like him. I think he's going to take a step forward this year. I guess I will keep Peralta, assuming that shoulder is fine. I don't know. Keeping Bieber might be safer. I'll keep Bieber.
Yeah, I was gonna say I love Bieber, dude, and he's
Yeah,
gonna play half the season this year. I think he's supposed
yeah,
to be back by like July. So I'm keeping Bieber and keeping Sanchez and redrafting Freddie. I don't like Fried in New York. It scares me. Like
See, I don't either, but so many other people, Scott White namely, is so high on him that it's like, man, I should just suck it up and
I just see
admit
Sonny
that
Gray
he's
all
probably
over.
going to be.
I just see Sonny Gray, Marcus Stroman. Like some of these guys just go to New York and they can't pitch there. Like it's not a good ballpark for pitchers. And like even Rodon went there and sucked the first year. So like I'm just not feeling that.
Yeah, their fans don't make it a good place to pitch either.
Yeah, my dog's snoring. I don't know if you could hear that.
My wife is snoring. I haven't heard anything though.
Tier 40, keep two, cut two. Chase DeLander, 23 years old. Tink Kent's 22 years old. Luis Castillo, 32 years old. Carlos Rodon, speak of the devil, 32 years old. And Kodai Senga, 32. So 3 32-year-olds here and then 2 young guns.
Yeah, I'm going to keep DeLander. I think he's really good. The Rocky thing sucks, but I think I don't know. I listened to that Chris Clegg podcast, and he's so high on him that I don't know. It'll probably be fine. Hopefully, it'll be fine. And who needs ratios anyways?
Nah.
I keep Dolander. I think I'm gonna keep Senga over Hentz, which might be crazy. I really like Senga, and like you were talking about earlier, those Japanese guys age gracefully. So then I will cut Rodon and cut Hentz and redraft Castillo. And don't kill me.
I am redrafting Castillo. Senga's had a really bad spring. I don't know if he's healthy. Yeah, he did throw like a 67-year-old mystery pitch. I can't remember what he called it. It had a funny name. Dolander and Hentz I'm keeping. I love Tink Hentz still. Tink Hentz is such a stud if he can stay healthy. I think he could beat Dylan Cease. Like, he has such good stuff. His stuff is better than Quinn Matthews' stuff. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. He has a lot of upside. Tier 4E is a keep 2, cut 2. We've got Zebby Matthews is 25. Jack Flaherty is 29. Kyle Bradish is 28. Brandon Woodruff is 31. Aaron Nola is 32. We've got 2 injured guys in this one too, Bradish and Woodruff. But Woodruff pitching the other day, so what are you doing here?
I'm going to I'm definitely keeping Bradish. And then my second keeper would be Zebby, I guess. Just based on everyone else has some injury history other than Nola, and I don't want a 37-year-old Nola. I'll redraft Flaherty. I think his best days were when he was with Detroit. And he's on the right side of 30. He doesn't give up as many bombs as Nola does. He should still get you at least a strikeout per inning. Yeah, I'll redraft Flaherty. Cut Woodruff and Nola.
I am going to keep the same 2 guys, Zebby and Bradish. I love Zebby, control artist, really strong spring. I think Zebby is going to be really good. He even had an uptick in velocity. I have no idea how he's not breaking that rotation. It's silly that Simeon Woods Richardson and freaking Chris Paddock are beating him. But, they're just trying to play contract games here. That's all it is. Like, there's really no other explanation. They keep Zebby down for a few extra weeks, and I think that they gain an extra year maybe because of how much time he spent on the Major League roster last year at the end of the year. So I'd have to do the math on that, but I think that's the case. So we should still see Zebby up in a few weeks, I would assume, because he was really, really good this spring. And then redrafting, I'm going to redraft Woodruff, dude. Woodruff is one of the best pitchers in baseball. Like, he's a top 15 starter when he's healthy. I'm just going to take the flyer on him. I agree with you that Flaherty ended up in the best situation he possibly could have. I don't trust Nola at 32. He always gave up a lot of homers anyway. So but I'm just going to take the flyer on Woodruff that he's healthy. Like, I'd rather at this point, I would rather just take the shot on Woodruff. I feel like, instead of drafting Flaherty. But then again, also, I'm a Flaherty hater because
yeah, he was terrible with the Cardinals.
Yeah, well, he's really good, and then he was really bad. But
yeah, I definitely like Nola more than you do, just in general. But I'm still cutting him.
Yeah, I'm just not really a Nola guy. I'm not a fan. Tier 4F, which there's tons of tier 4s here. All these guys, I just have big globs. The pitching globs, right? Keep 2, cut 2. We've got David Fessa, 25, who had a terrible spring. Luis Heel, 27, hurt.
Justin out for 3 months.
Yeah, Justin Steele, 29. Clark Schmidt, 29, and Sonny Gray, 35.
I have Luis Heel in that Dynasty league I keep mentioning, and I would very much like to trade him. I'm going to cut Heel. The second cut here is kind of hard. I'm going to cut Gray, I guess, just because of the age. And then I'm going to redraft Steele. I'm going to keep Steele and Festa, and I'll redraft Schmidt.
Interesting. I would also keep Festa and Steele, and I'm going to redraft Sonny Gray because I think he's awesome.
Yeah, I knew you would.
He's still really good.
At one point, At one point last year, we were discussing a Sonny Gray trade in our 20-team league, and I told Tim if Sonny Gray was the last available starting pitcher to trade for, I would have to think about it very hard.
You just don't like him for some reason. But
I'm anti Sonny Gray. Yeah, well, for some reason, because he hasn't thrown 140 innings since like
last
2017,
year.
besides last year.
Okay, actually 2 years in a row. He had 184 in 2023 and 166 last year, and he also had a 303 Sierra last year with a 109
Yes, I
whip.
know. I actually kind of like him this year,
24%
but
K minus walk.
you got to commit to the bit.
All right. Tier 4, Tier 4G. Keep 2, cut 2. We've got Tanner Houck, 29. Emmett Sheehan, injured, 25. I think he's going to be back halfway through the season.
I forgot he existed.
He only had internal brace, I think. I don't think he had the full TJ. Nick Pivetta, 32. Nate Eovaldi, 35. Jesus Luzardo, 27.
Man, I'm going to redraft Luzardo. I think. Man, I kind of want to keep Luzardo. I want to see if he's good again, I guess, before I commit to keeping him. I'll keep Sheehan just based on age and upside. I guess that means I have to keep Hauk. No, I feel icky about that. I'll keep Sheehan and Luzardo. I'll redraft Pavetta, and I will cut Hauk and Eovaldi. Eovaldi's fine. He's nothing. If you need innings late in your draft, he's fine. But he's nothing. There's no upside there.
Yeah, he's solid. I would keep Sheehan and Luzardo too, and then redraft Hauk. He's good right now, but he's got a weird arm action, and he used to be a reliever, so I'm not sure, how many innings he's got in him before something happens, like Drew Rasmussen. So, and he has a sketchy injury history too, on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's good for now, so I'm redrafting him. Tier 4H, our last pitching tier. Keep 2, cut 2. We have Bowden Francis, 29. Mackenzie Gore, 26. Jose Soriano, 26. Spencer Arrighetti, 25. And Brian Bayo, 26.
I'm going to keep Mackenzie Gore. I'm buying the breakout. The second keep is tough here. I'm going to keep Arrighetti. I really like Arrighetti. And then I will redraft Bowden Francis. And I'll cut Siriano and Bayo.
Yeah.
That redraft is tough, but yeah.
No, Francis was awesome second half last year. He was ridiculous. He was like one of the best pitchers in baseball. Do I buy that continuing? Not really. And he's 29,
he was throwing 8 or 9 inning one hitters for like 3 weeks straight. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, he was awesome last year. We saw Gabe spend how much did Gabe spend on him in Fantasy Aceball Invitational? Like $30 on Bowden Francis or something.
I don't remember. I spent really $100. I spent $100 of Fab and Dynasty dollars on him and rode him through the playoffs.
Yeah, well, it helped you get to the finals. So, All right, Raymond, give us our Raymondism that we already know. You teased a little bit earlier, so hit us.
So hitters who hit a ball the opposite way at least 415 feet last year.
Elliot Ramos.
This is ranked by distance, so I'll start at the bottom. Julio Rodriguez, Ketel Marte, Nolan Gorman, shocker there. Juan Soto, Michael Harris, Teoscar Hernandez, Rafael Devers, Shohei Ohtani, and Kerry Carpenter.
Oh, really? I thought didn't Ramos hit one wasn't he the first righty to hit one in the
hit one into the cove?
Yeah. How did that not meet that?
I don't know.
I thought he was the first. Wasn't he the first hitter since Barry Bonds or someone to do?
How far is the cove?
I don't know. I just assumed that he had to make it because of that, because the cove is out of right field, and he's a righty.
How far is McCovey Cove? 309 feet from home plate.
Oh, only 309 feet. What?
It must just be so hard to get the ball out there because of the wind.
The wind?
Yeah.
Lame. 309 feet. That's not much. And that has to be the fence. There's no way. That's got to be the pole.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I
that's
bet
a
I
good
could.
one. That's a good one.
If we weren't live on a podcast, I bet I could pull up Google Maps and measure the distance, but I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Oh, we'll get a measurement here. Yeah. All right. Well, it's a podcast. You can find Raymond at Raymond Atherton on the Twitter machine. You can find me at Fantasy Aceball. I've got a couple articles that are going to be coming out this week for like spring training wrap up stuff on Fantasy Pros. And if you haven't yet, check out the YouTube channel. You can see my spring training video, and it'll probably be, I don't know, mid-April or something before I really get rolling on the prospect stuff, because that's when minor league seasons start. They don't start the same time as the major league season. They always start a couple weeks after. So just keep that in mind with the prospect content, that like probably it'll take a couple weeks after the season starts before that stuff starts coming out. So that's a pod. We'll see you next time. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.